Okay guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Hamish. I'm the founder of ATech AI. We are an AI automation agency or artificial intelligence studio based in Queensland. We help businesses incorporate AI into their operations. But you know, the biggest question that I get asked quite often nowadays is, what is AI? There's so many different types of AI now that it's getting ridiculous to keep up with. So I thought I'd make just a quick video just explaining my overview and my opinion on what AI is from my point of view and how it can be incorporated into businesses. So again, this is just purely my opinions. I may be right, I may be wrong, and there may be some things that I might leave out, or there may be some things that even I'm not aware of that I will, of course, make an updated video as I keep learning. For now, this is my fundamental understanding of what AI is. We all know that AI stands for artificial intelligence. What does AI actually mean? From my understanding, AI it's a tool. Why is it a tool? Because you can do so many things with it. For instance, you can write a list here. So if we go emails, this is what is commonly used as right now. They use it for documents, so writing documents or modifying them, updating them, that kind of thing. It's also used in business for administration purposes. And that could be things like, hey, I've got the spreadsheet, can you just analyze this and just tell me what's going on? Nowadays, it's also being used in sales. And if you don't know how that's been done in sales, I've just released a couple of videos on how to do AI phone agents that can sort of automate that sales process for you. So definitely go check that out. I'll leave a link in the description box. Emails, documents, admin, sales, that's what it's used for. And of course, for code as well. AI is helping developers just create better products, right? And save as maximum time as possible developing and spend more time testing and implementing, right? These are the fundamental things from my point of view people are utilizing AI for. Now that we're getting into the world of agents and agentic type of systems, this tool now comes in many different flavors, many different options or variations. These could be along the lines of the following: chatbots, answering FAQs, explain company information. They can connect to external tools. This is the fundamental. This is like the basic version of what AI can do. And we've seen these kind of bots before in the form of frequently asked questions or that kind of thing. But to take this the next step further, what you would do is then you would turn this into an assistant. Now, the real difference between a chatbot and an assistant is that an assistant, it's designed like a human. All of this, frequently asked questions, company info, that can just be all transferred into a knowledge base. So then the assistant is kind of dynamic in that sense because you don't have to feed this in the prompt. You can just put it inside a document and feed it into the assistant. So it knows this information that works on top of the prompt. The real advantage of having an assistant like this, it's more bulletproof because you're giving it a lot more parameters, like, you're giving it a custom knowledge base. You are then able to just work on this prompt as well, because I should mention here as well that this just requires prompting. So again, to clarify, chatbots just require prompting. They don't really take any other external tools or knowledge bases, that kind of thing, but the assistants do. So that's where the real magic happens, where you can have these kind of assistants that, you can just deploy on your websites, on your social media, that kind of thing. Knows anything and everything about your business. You can prompt it, like a salesperson, or replicate someone in your team, and then we can do things that way, right? So again, this is more personalized. This is way more personalized as opposed to doing chatbots. Don't get me wrong, of course, this is just as good as this, but this is better because you're giving it a lot more information about you and your business. This is the text category. So this is everything that you can do with text. So the cool thing is that the next step from the chatbots to the assistant is to turn this into an agent. Now, what the agent does is it may talk to the customer, it may not. Really, it's a completely autonomous experience. This is where things like Make, Zapier, custom tools really come into play. The idea with the agents is because it's completely autonomous, it's pretty much running on autopilot when you want it to. So for instance, let me give you a real world example here. What we could do is have a chatbot that kind of pre-qualifies the lead from the website. Then from there, it could take the conversation to WhatsApp, where a dedicated assistant is there, and that assistant is going further into the qualifying process because it has, custom knowledge base and all that kind of stuff. We can allow it to, keep screening the prospect until they're absolutely keen to make a booking. Then once this is done here and the prospect has been qualified, it can then be sent to the agent to actually book the person in. We can actually book in with a human to take the concept and the sales process further and actually close them. You can do all of this through text, which is incredible. And you're using 3 different methods, yes, but of course you have the basic, intermediate, advanced. Of course here, when I say custom tools, you can also put code here as well. For all you programmers out there, Python lovers, Good stuff. This is the entire text world that we have here. It seems a bit complicated, I know, and I do apologize. I am rushing this video, but it's really important for you guys to understand as business owners, what kind of solutions is really viable for my business. Do I want text-based, right? Do I want video? Do I want voice? There's so many options out there now. The point that I'm making here is that you have 3 different choices that you can go with. You imagine if you're a real estate agency. So someone lands on your website. They go through this chatbot process. If it's been qualified, they can get a link, which we can put in the prompt as well. They can get a link to add this assistant on WhatsApp, which will be connected to a number, for example. Or it could even be connected just via SMS or just, private DMs or whatever. It can be deployed anywhere. That's not the point of this video. The point is to showcase what kind of solutions are out there. Once it goes from the chatbot on the website to the assistant, which is deployed anywhere, let's say WhatsApp in this case, it could then, continue to qualify the prospect based on the additional parameters that we have here. And then it could send that to the agent via a webhook. It could just book the person in, send out a custom email. And now you're probably thinking, oh, Hamish, I can just do that through a workflow. And of course you can, but here's why you shouldn't. The thing is with a workflow is that, yes, you can have your own, your Make.com workflow that completely misses the step. If you have an agent that is connected to this workflow, instead, what you can do is you can ask it, this guy actually book in, what's the situation? So you can go in and ask the agent and keep a record or just follow up with the information. So that's why it's so important. If you do it with an agent in mind rather than just a workflow, it will save you time having to manually go through the logs, making sure everything worked or not. And if it didn't, you'd have to spend hours figuring out why. But if you have it built into the agent, let the large language model handle it, right? Let the AI handle it. So it can literally go through all your call logs, which can be sent on a spreadsheet or whatever, like I showed in my previous video. And from that spreadsheet, it could just read it, and then it could just tell you who booked in, who didn't, who was interested, who wasn't. So again, really, really valuable stuff here, guys. So that's why you should have this in an agent format as opposed to just doing the workflow only. Of course, if you're a more advanced user, and you're comfortable with looking through logs and you have the time to spare, then of course you can completely skip the agent step. But in my opinion, it is extremely necessary. So that's the tech side of things, guys. Here comes my favorite part of AI, which is the voice side of things. Why is this my favorite part? Because voice is such a new concept and there's so many amazing new technologies coming out in regards to this. Voice comes in many different flavors. Just like how we had the chatbot assistant and the agent, we can do exactly the same thing here. For voice, you can have what we like to call widgets. You would have seen this on my video as well, how to make voice widgets for your website. These are just prompt based and that's it. No custom functionality whatsoever, but that's all that's required to make this thing happen. That's how the voice side of things works for widgets, and it just requires a prompt. Then we move on to the actual agent. And I'm doing this in this order, and you'll understand why in a second. So the next step from this is an agent. So this agent will have a knowledge base, gonna put KB. It's gonna have a prompt, usually lives on a phone number, and can connect to certain tools. These are all the services that we offer. If there's anything here that I've been explaining or talking about that may pique your interest, why don't you check us out at atechds.com? We can sort you out. That's the next progression here. So from widgets to agent, we have a knowledge base, prompt, have a phone number, and certain tools that we can use. And again, if you don't want to know what those certain tools are, you can watch my previous video about how to deploy phone agents for your business. This is the part you guys have been waiting for, in my opinion, because this is the coolest thing you can do right now. You can make assistants, but it's not like the assistants that you're thinking of, or rather the assistants that you should be thinking of. You can literally make your own Javas. Could you imagine how beneficial this would be for your business if you had a Java style assistant that could literally be connected to every single tool that you guys use in your daily operations and ask it, hey, what's my sales forecast for today? How many of my team members actually took breaks today? What's the forecast looking like for the weather? I need to go to a client meeting. Hey, can you just look up the spreadsheet and just, double check that the numbers are correct? It should equal to this. This could live on your phone. This could be on your desktop through browser, or my favorite method, we deploy this just through code. Because I'm a developer, obviously, I'll prefer the code method, but I'm sure for businesses like yours, you guys would prefer something like a phone app, like a browser type system, where you can just literally have a chat with the agent and just make things happen. To showcase an example of this, I have an assistant called Davina, which I've talked about, and she can just make posts on my behalf whenever I tell her to. She can make calls when I can't be bothered, just connected through the calling systems that we've been talking about recently in my latest videos. If you haven't checked them out again, definitely do. This is where it gets next level, isn't it? Because you can imagine this is the end goal here. You want to end up here. Ever since I've incorporated AI into my life, on this level, the level of productivity and the level of efficiency that has been unlocked for my business in particular, because obviously we deal with a lot of people on a daily basis. A lot of calls coming in, emails, messaging, all that kind of stuff. My assistant is just connected to all my systems, social media platforms, whatever, and it can just log and track everything for me. So You know, be like, hey, how is this latest post on LinkedIn doing? Oh, it got, 1,200 impressions or whatever. Which part of AI is going to have the maximum impact in my business? That's really the question you need to ask yourself. So again, is it going to be text? Is it going to be voice? If you're like having problems with marketing and content creation, is it going to be images or video? Most important, number one question here is, what's the use case? Now that we know what kind of AI solutions are out there for your business, how do you pick the best one? The simple answer to that is with a question. And that question is, when we're at the use case side, you need to first work out who's going to use this. Is it your client? Is it your team, board of directors? Or is it you? Once you've determined what you want, how are you going to deliver it? Who you're doing the use case for, or who's going to be using the AI? You need to figure out what type. So this can be, again, text or image. This could be voice, or it could be a custom solution. Then you need to figure out, how is this going to be deployed? So is it going to be on a phone? Is it on social media? Is it via SMS? That's what you need to look at as well. Who's going to use it? What type of AI do I need? And how am I going to deploy it? So now that we understand what kind of use case we need and who we're building it for, what type of thing we're building and how we're going to do it, I now want to go through with you some products and services that we actually offer here at ATEC AI, so you guys can get a bit of an idea of, how or what type of solution may be best fit for your business. These are some of the solutions that we've used and applied for our clients. We've done voice agents. That's what we specialize in at the moment. We've done chatbots. I've done assistants. I have done agents. And of course, we have custom solutions as well. So we'll go into this in more detail throughout the video, but the most popular one for us is definitely voice agents, and then assistants. Agents actually come a close second. Yeah, and then assistants comes third. Custom solution is fourth, and chatbots in this case are fifth. And you're probably wondering, why is chatbots the least preferred? Well, the reason for that is because they're almost so common now, and I'm sure you guys have used Meta AI and that kind of thing, and I'm sure you guys have had your own opinion on it. It's there, but it's not, if that makes sense, right? Why would I just deploy a basic level chatbot when ChatGPT can work even better than that? There's just no point. It's kind of obsolete now, having this basic level. But some people may find that's all they need. They don't need this part. They can just get away with this, but they don't need any of this. That's the kind of solutions that we've been creating here for our clients. And again, if you want to work with us, atecds.com, check us out there. So now that we understand what kind of use case we have, we know what AI is, we can now move on to defining what different types of solutions are available in the market. Do you want a chatbot that just lives on your website and can just, pre-screen customers and then direct them to the contact form, for example? Do you want an assistant who can actually live on your website and can just make the bookings for you? Do you want an agent that can just do everything automatically without you having to do anything? Do you want a voice assistant? Do you want a voice widget that lives on your website? Or do you want an actual phone agent that can live on a phone number and, can make calls on your behalf or handle calls on your behalf? That's the kind of question you need to ask yourself here. Once you establish this, then we can move on to what kind of tools and what kind of solutions we can look at. But this is, I think, where 95% of businesses are going wrong when they look into AI. They haven't even looked into AI because they don't know what use cases can apply to their business. So I was speaking to my business partner the other day, and we were talking about different types of industries that could benefit from these kind of products. We mentioned real estate, tradies, pretty much any business that has a high demand but low supply. Now, what I mean by low supply, this could be humans, it could be infrastructure, it could be used so many different areas. It's just ridiculous. It works for industries that have high demand and low supply. And for text-based, the best use cases I've seen so far is, deploying them to social media, websites, SMS or email. As I say in most of my videos now, the number one reason why all of this works is not because of the functionality, it's not because of the knowledge bases or anything. It fundamentally comes down to the prompt. You gotta make sure the prompt is intact. Simple as that. Whether it's voice or text, doesn't matter. Focus on the prompt. What is a prompt if you don't know? Prompt is English, okay? Until we can get to the point where we can do multilingual prompting, in different languages, like actually writing the prompt in different languages instead of English. We haven't gotten there yet, but that's all you need. If you guys like this video, appreciate it if you leave a like, share, and subscribe. We are working hard to come out with some crazy new content for you guys, amazing new tutorials. If there's anything I've left out, or if you're still confused, please do write in the comments below, and I would love feedback on this. I really want to refine this kind of format and do these more. They're super easy for me to do in terms of a content creator, and I feel like, it gets a lot more points across in a short amount of time. So again, this is my first time, guys. Bear with me. Any good, bad feedback, I really want to hear about it. So leave your thoughts in the comments below. Again, thank you so much for watching, and like, share, and subscribe.